set up right to capture part of this trip. I'm really trying so hard to put together vlog entries about my trip. I am just departing from Lamb's Marina, which is near Elizabeth City. Elizabeth City has all kinds of free docks for people, and that's where people go because it's free. Well, Lamb's Marina is a full-service marina, and it's $35 a night. Plus, it's peaceful and there's nice people, and I'm very glad I stayed there. So I just pulled out of their little tiny channel, and now I'm going to go through this narrow, very narrow opening where there was a railroad bridge, and they apparently just took a chunk out of it so boats could get through. And here we go. I'm not sure how well you're going to hear me. I did not set up any microphones today, which may or may not come back to haunt me. I will try to speak loudly. Hopefully I'm not shouting. And I will go and close that back door in a minute. I just want to get on my way, you know, into an area where there's less stuff to look out for. And if you can see through this other camera here, hopefully, and I took my plants down, which is kind of good, you'll see this narrow bridge I've got to go through. I'd say this opening is probably less than 20 feet. I'm 10 feet wide. I can fit, but a very wide catamaran would not get through here. Quieter. There goes the engine noise again. Okay. So this will take us down past Elizabeth City. There is a bridge there, and I think I'm late enough in the day that they won't make me wait. Hopefully. Forgot to look for that. I'm just a little. You know, I've been waiting out some weather in Albemarle Sound. At this marina, Lamb's Marina. Again, highly recommended. You know, if you come through the Dismal Swamp area and you need a place to stay overnight, stay here. I mean, really, they're nice guys. Anyway, I was waiting out some weather. It's really sheltered there. We had some wind, but the boat was solid. It was all good. And, but you can't see what the weather's like everywhere else. And I use the National Weather Service as my primary weather source, and it's saying that the winds are going to be in the teens, gusting to the 20s, and that the waves are going to be about a foot, where I need to go around, you know, in the corner of the sound. The wind is coming from the northeast, which means there'll be less fetch, and it should be all good. We'll find out. Because I just can't wait. There's more weather coming over the weekend, and I want to be out of here. Unfortunately, I have a deadline, and if you can ever cruise without a deadline, do that. Deadlines really mess up your cruising enjoyment, because you need to leave enough flex days in your schedule in case of weather, okay? In case weather gets you holed up somewhere. But after a while, you run out of days, and then you have to be where you have to be. after here. And I'll get to Norfolk, and the weather should not really be an issue once I get to Coinjock. However, I need to get out of Chesapeake Bay, and weather could definitely be a factor there. And I don't want to get holed up, and, you know, I certainly don't want to be late. That'll really screw up my plans, because the boat was going to be pulled out of the water, get the bottom painted, and possibly upgrade my solar setup. You know, so it's kind of important for me to get where I'm going. Okay. Right now everything looks good. This river is calm, but I actually expected this river to be calm. It's further down this river after Elizabeth City where I'm a little bit concerned. So right now I am taking, right now I've got my chart plotters on, 2 different magnifications, nothing special there. I'm using my the heading hold on my autopilot to keep pointing me in the right directions. I'm not following a track right now. I'm just, you know, letting it steer me that way. More. And what I need to do next is tell Aquamap that I'm on my way at my current speed, which is slower than I'm going to go. I will get there at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a little bit later than I want to get there. But I am going to speed up. In fact, I'm going to speed up right now. funny story about the bridge. When I came in here the other day, I called the bridge multiple times, got no answer, tried their phone number, got no answer, saw that there was a car sitting there by where the bridge tender hangs out. And then I started to think, well, what if it's an old guy and he had a heart attack or something? So I called the police and I told them, I said, I've been calling the bridge, nobody's answering, I'm worried about who's inside. So they said that they would call, I guess they have a different number, and they called, and a few minutes later, not even a minute later, my radio came to life. The guy said that the previous bridge tender had turned the volume down, so he wasn't hearing anything. So that's my story for the other day. That's his story too, so who knows if that's true. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he was taking a nap. So this is, if the rest of the river is just like this, I'm going to be a real happy camper, but I don't think it will be. We'll see. Check weather services all day long, every day, and you still have problems, getting accurate weather forecasts. National Weather Service says 1 foot waves at the point where I asked. Windy says 4 to 7 foot waves in the same place. Now, if I believed windy, I would be pinned down where I am until the end of May, probably. Because it doesn't look like it's ever going to break if you look at windy. But the National Weather Service says today and tomorrow should be okay, so I'm going to make my run for it. Okay, we're coming up on the town of Elizabeth City, and I see the bridge, so I'm going to call the bridge tender. Elizabeth City Bridge, this is the southbound motor vessel, do it now. I'd like to request an opening.
Elizabeth City Bridge, okay.
Okay. Here I am. You can see me now. This is a no wake zone. There's some boats parked over here on the side, and there's a couple of those free docks up ahead. So I'm going to slow down. Seems to be a marina back there. This is like private housing with private docks, and I think over here the same thing. And then up ahead there's this Christian Academy or Christian College or something like that, and they've got a free dock, and if you pay them a small amount of money, you can get access to their showers and bathrooms, which I guess is good. When I came through, I stayed at the next free dock up ahead, which is for provision company, purveyor for restaurants, and their deal is you can stay at their free dock if you promise to go to one of the restaurants in town on their list, which I did, but I did not like the dock. It was not bridge tenders have to actually come out of the building and look on the entire length of the bridge. Apparently there was an accident where the bridge opened with a pedestrian on it. Very sad. But, I mean, seriously, why was there a pedestrian on the bridge? Okay, I hear the horns for it. Now I'm in forward idle speed, so I'm going forward slowly. Actually, I'm going to go to full idle. I'm in standby there. And then ahead of us to the side there is all Elizabeth City. And it's got a lot of nice restaurants, breweries. Everyone seems to want breweries. And it was an enjoyable evening there, but not enjoyable at that particular dock. Okay, here we go. So the bridge is opening. You can probably see it. Certain bridges out here will not open if the wind exceeds a certain speed. Assuming I can go through it, it said I couldn't. Okay, it's got plenty of clearance. It's really cool. You can see like all the gears and stuff on the side. If I wasn't driving, I would take pictures. But I'm driving. Elizabeth City Bridge, motor vessel do it now, is clear. Thanks for the opening. Have a great day. I think it was the same guy that was sleeping the other day. No acknowledgement. It's still open. Oh, there it goes. All right. So this is the up ahead here on the side is the downtown dock. Looking out on the river does not look bad. Let's hope. The downtown dock, it's really convenient, located close to downtown, which is nice. But the problem is the piers are very short, so you have to back in. And even when I back in, it's really hard for me to get access to the pier from the back of my boat. Plus, because I'm backed in, my boat, the big back window is open to everybody who walks by, and people hang out, and they think that if you're in your boat and they see you, they can just start talking to you, and it kind of, you become a tourist attraction, which I really don't enjoy. So, I'm looking up ahead. It's looking hazy, but the water's looking good. A bit of a rock there. Okay. Bridge is almost closed. We are on our way. So, action there will be generated by wind. If I was on that side of the river, it would be a lot, theoretically, it should be rougher. Now, the further south I get, the closer I get to the Albemarle Sound. I am more than halfway there now. I'm about, well, 3/4 of the way there. And this will be, you know, to see if I made the right decision, because if I get to the Sound and it's 6 and 7 foot waves like they said in Windy, then I made a bad decision. But if it is just a little bit worse than this, which is kind of what I expect at this point, then it's going to be okay. So we'll see how it goes. Just thought I'd check in and let you see. One thing I am doing, because I'm not in, well, I'm in the channel, theoretically. It's a big wide channel though. This river is notorious for crab traps. And I don't know if I'm imagining things or not, but I haven't seen any crab traps yet. I remember the last time I came in this river, actually the first time I came in this river, just dodging crab traps all the way up to Elizabeth City. And there were some the other day, so I don't know what's going on, but no complaints, knock wood. It's all good. So I'll be back. Well, that was kind of quick. I am already coming up on the last marker along the river, which means that I am technically out in the Sound. And of course, right after my last video recording where I said I didn't see any crab traps, I had to dodge 2 of them, and right now I'm looking at one there. They're usually in a line, so if you can see one, you just keep looking for the others. There's the next closest one. Oh, there's one there too. Okay, so I'm going to need to go. Actually, let's just hand steer here to make sure I get around it. Okay, so I am going to dodge these crab traps, and I'm also going to be turning more to the east. There's some more crab traps. Holy cow. That's because I opened my mouth. I should have kept my mouth shut. Okay, I am at the very end of the river. I'm about to make my turn back onto the ICW track laid down by Bob 423. And that will take me up the North River, and I can see already that the water is going to change its character when I make this turn, but I think it'll still be pretty good. I'm just, there's an area of spoil off to the side. I want to make sure I avoid that. Whoops. Here's some traps that I just almost hit. A row of them. With that. Okay. Woo, wake you up. That'll wake you up. Yeah, so it's getting a little rougher here. Not bad though, yet. Let's hope it doesn't stay and get bad. It's just, I do way better when I use heading pole to steer the boat. And that's in part because my boat wants to veer to the left a lot, to the port side. And I think that's got to do with it being heavier on that side. That's my working theory. So when I use heading hold, it doesn't do that. More traps up ahead here. Let's go through them here. Exciting. That was my phone. This happens all the time. Let's reel it up. Okay. We are almost there. Almost where the turn is. Yeah. So now we've got the wind and the waves coming from this side, so we're getting a little bit of this bigger, right now they're like not even a foot, I don't think. But if they were bigger, then what would happen is that this rocking motion would get very, very aggressive. And then stuff around the cabin that I didn't stow or secure would get tossed around, which is never fun. And then my dogs would get sick. Let's put those on. Leave this one on. Just past another crab trap. Almost past the spoil area. take me from doing 14 to 15 knots, and I'm currently getting a little over 9 knots. The reason I'm getting such a good speed at 2200 is because the tide's going this way, even though the wind is going this way. So it's going to be a port tide, at least that's what I was told. So I can prep this.
Right there where that sailboat is. I think it might be.
of the restaurant. We'll be out there to give you a hand.
Okay, port side, just north of the restaurant. Standing by at 6-8. Okay. So, I go, I see the dock from here. The dock is like, it looks like it's a quarter mile long. It's really long. The last time I was here, the entire dock was full, and they had 3 boats rafted onto other boats. In other words, tied onto the side of other boats, sticking out and I was one of them. Which I really don't like, because then I have to walk through somebody else's boat to get to land with my dogs, which is just not a good thing. Anyway, I'm looking at the dock now, and it looks like there's nobody there. Maybe there's some very small boat there. So it's like a whole different game. And then you can see the canal's really narrow here. I'm still letting the autopilot drive the boat using the bob track. Well, there's not much wind in here. The water is kind of churning around. I did not check the tide. I should have checked the tide. I was in a place with no tides for so long. Okay, so we're almost at the bottom of the tide. I assume the tide drains out that way, because he says the current's that way. Last year, and again in November when I was southbound, they put those giant boats on that dock where the bow of one was over the stern of the one in front of it. It was the most unbelievable thing. It was almost like all the boats were locked in place. And it was pretty weird. Okay, so... restaurant, I'm pretty sure, is the red building. There's one boat there. It looks like a motor, rowboat with a motor on it. I forgot there was a park right here. Okay, I'm taking it off of the autopilot. If I can just turn it off. Standby. Now I'm manually controlling the boat, because what I want to do is I want to go past the restaurant, make a wide turn, and then come into actually the restaurant is the blue building. Is that true? I don't remember this place being so big. Still nobody behind me. Wow, what a difference. It's so weird being here, like when it's as crowded as it could be, and then when it's as empty as it can be. It's just very strange. Oh, I see we're going to have piers here. That's not good. Alright, I can deal with it. So there's the restaurant. It is the red building. So I'm going to go a little bit past it. I see all the pump out equipment, which is probably where he wants me to go. And here we go. turn around is the current's coming from the other direction. Yeah, I can feel it now too. It's pushing me this way. I'm in forward idle speed. Got the wheel turned over all the way. Can feel the wind now. This boat actually turns really well, so I didn't need to go that far over. And I do not have the right kind of fenders for this dock, so I'm going to hit it, and it's going to be ugly. Neutral, idle, just to see it get it slow down against the current. Turning this on. Here's a line for you. Oh, I hate when that happens. Okay, you need me up more, or is that good?
Oh, you're good.
Whoop, what? Here's another line. I was here in November for line. Am I staying here or is it just one? Yeah.
I'll keep it right here.
Okay. Let me get some stuff turned off. Okay, that's it. We're here. Let me turn you guys off. I'm gonna do my business.